Alright, I'm gonna do hearing I'm gonna do hearing voices. This song is probably the oldest song that I've ever written. Or the earliest song that I've ever written, at least internally, because it's about a memory of going as far back as I can remember, conceiving a reason to write a song, and it's just about basically being abandoned as a child in a room with no supervision, and just wondering where everybody was, and listening to hear somebody speak. And I would hear voices in the distance, whether it was like coming from outside or downstairs or wherever, somewhere in the distant periphery. And I remember one particular incident where I was left with like some Burger King food, and I was like 1.5 years old, and I was like annoyed by it. It was like some onion rings and a burger, and it was like gross, and I didn't like it. But I was hungry, and I ate a little bit of it, and I kind of didn't like. I was like, oh, it tastes kind of good, but I don't really. It's gross. I was like, well, okay, I get it, but at the same time, I was like annoyed. I was like, why did they give me this? I'm a baby. And I heard music somewhere, and so that line in the song was about that. I hear a jukebox, French fries, and beer. People. I remember, overhearing the voices talking about beer. It was one of the earliest memories I had, like dudes talking about beer. I remember the word beer, we'll get a beer. You want a beer? Let's have a beer. Like my dad, I got a beer in the fridge. You want a beer? Whatever. Talking to his friends or whatever, And so this year is probably like 1977. Somewhere at some point in 1977. I was born in February in 1976, so it's like a 1.5 years old, so sometime in 1977. And I was living on St. Louis Street in Chicago. And the second verse of the song makes references to experiences that I have remembered that after the apartment was robbed and burned, when we returned from our vacation in Galena, Illinois, I remember standing there in the kitchen, searching the kitchen. I searched the kitchen, put my ear to the wall. I look in the freezer again, I was looking in the freezer, looked in the refrigerator, I looked in the freezer again. Everything was taken, everything was robbed, and there was like a rotten onion in the fridge. That was all that was left, in the door of the fridge was like a rotten onion there. And I remember standing there and just like taking it all in, like, okay, it worked, this thing that I was attempting to do, calling the burglars on the phone, and with the drum set, it worked. They came and they took everything. So I was like, then the next line was, sometimes a notion swells like the ocean. So there was like an emotion that I was feeling. It was kind of like a euphoria, like everything had been taken away, but yet there I was still standing there. with, you know, the future ahead of me, you know, infinite possibilities. But yet, at the same time, I couldn't really think of where I was supposed to be still, you know. And I can't think where I should be. And still, like, I was surrounded by strangers, you know, so there was nobody there, even if somebody was there, you know, there's nobody there. And I know there's no one home, but I won't put down the phone. Okay, the phone was stolen now. My Mickey Mouse phone that my dad got me for my birthday is gone now, you know. This burglar stole it. But I still had it, like, etherically, it was still in my mind, and I was still talking to the voices in my head on the phone, you know. And I know there's no one home, but I won't put down the phone. I can't think where I should be, you know. And it's just like a real pretty song because it's alluding to the feeling that I had then, standing there in the empty room. Nobody there, some distant voices are talking in the background somewhere in the distant peripheral. I'm still talking to them. I'm still talking to them in my mind, you know, on the phone of my mind, you know. And I don't remember when I wrote it. Actually wrote it down on paper. And who I gave it to, I don't remember any of those things. What the dates were, I don't remember any of that stuff right now at the moment. But I'm thinking maybe Ann Arbor, 1993, 913 East Liberty Street. I was writing all those songs. I might have wrote it then. I might have wrote it earlier. I don't know. But it's the earliest song that I remember, like, having in my head that I was working on, because, like, I'd, like, compose stuff in my head. I'd, like, write, I'd have, like, parts of stuff, like, just kind of floating in my head, you know, like, and I'd write part of it, and I'd let it go, and then I'd come back to it later, and keep going, and then when I was done with it, then I'd write it down. Sometimes I'd partially write something down and then finish it later. So yeah, I can't really think of any other song that's older than that in my own mind, you know, that I wrote, like one of my own songs. It's like the oldest one, because it goes as far back as I can remember in my memory, just being left alone in rooms and just listening for voices or listening to voices. That's it. That's all that song's about. Hearing voices. And then when I was in grade school, I remember being asked by, like, school staff and stuff if I heard voices. I remember my principal asked me that one time. He was like, "Do you hear voices?" And I was like, "Yeah, actually I do. I heard one just now. It said, 'Do you hear voices?'" You know, I was like fucking with him, you know. I got in trouble for something. He brought me to the principal's office, and to his office, and that was the first thing he asked me. Do you hear voices? Do you hear voices? Who doesn't hear voices? I don't know. I'm deaf. I don't fucking hear voices. What? You know, like, what am I supposed to say? You know, talk to me like I'm fucking stupid, whatever, you know. Like